Well, hello, everybody. This is Dusty with the Fellowship Committee, and I am here with Ross Vanderhule and the previous Vanderhule, now Brown, Jane Brown. And I'm excited because this is a sibling moment. So we get to learn about the childhoods of the Vanderhules, which I love saying that name because it's such a great last name. So anyway, thank you for doing this, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Make sure that you speak up so everybody can hear. And I might just push this a little closer to you because they always have
Go
a
ahead.
great time hearing me, but sometimes they can't hear you guys, and you're the most important. So anyway, thank you. So when did you two become members of our church?
Well, as I was just saying a few minutes ago, we were both born into the church. Our parents were members, and we were new babies in the church. 1948 and 1950.
50.
All right. And why did you stay?
I was in the church and in the choir and raised in the church until I married and left for Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, my.
And I was only gone 2 years, and as soon as we got back to Yankton, we were back in the church.
It's home, huh?
It's where it is, yep.
Yeah, and Brooke and I were became members of the church after we got married, and then we left in 81, came back to South Dakota in 2001, and didn't come back to Yankton until, that's been about 5-6 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then came back to the church then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're both very involved, and I loved the comfort that I received from both of you when we first started coming. So all of you, Brooke also.
Yeah,
So it's wonderful.
it was fun to see you and Val come to
Yeah.
our church.
Yeah, we
Great.
enjoy it.
Great additions.
So you grew up here in Yankton?
Yep,
Okay.
we did.
We grew up on 1000 Mulberry Street, which was a block from the Yankton College campus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to count last night. I think there was 5 families that went to the Congregational Church
Oh,
in our
my.
neighborhood with kids, and we were just a crew. I mean, we were all together all the time, and we were all at church, and we were all in the backyard, and we were all out playing after dark, and we had an idyllic childhood, don't you think, Ross?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
It
how
was-
many siblings are there?
3.
Okay.
Skip, who passed away
Yep.
this year, and then Jane and I. But I was trying to remember who in the neighborhood, because somebody would always haul us for Sunday school.
Yeah.
One of the moms or the dads or whatever, somebody made sure we went to Sunday school on Sunday morning, and it was just the neighborhood thing.
Yep.
We just go.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you moved to Detroit
Mm-hmm.
because,
My husband was from Detroit,
okay.
and my best friend from Yankton, her name was Linda Westergaard. She and I were going to visit her brother who was in the Navy. And I was on my way later I used to work at a camp in upstate New York. So before I went there, we went to Virginia to meet these guys. And she married Mike, and I married Gordon. They were best friends, and Linda and I were best friends, and we've been that way ever since.
That's
Even though
awesome.
they are still, now they live in Texas, he's out of the service, and we live here, and Gordon's had been involved in everything in Yankton, but we were still very, very close.
So how did you get hooked up with these two guys that were,
In the Navy,
yeah.
Linda's older brother was in the Navy, and he said, you need to come down here because I got some fellas to introduce you to.
Yeah, a plethora of fellas.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. A couple of sailors for you to meet.
Oh boy, I bet that was the talk in the household.
Oh, it was quite exciting.
I'm sure.
Very exciting.
Yeah, those boys in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you moved, you said.
Yeah, we moved to Colorado in '81, and Then we left Colorado in '89. Moved 5 times in 5 years, and left Denver and circled around. Wound up back in Denver about I think in '96, somewhere in that era,
Okay.
and then stayed there till we came back to South Dakota in 2001.
Cool.
Yeah,
And did you go to Yankton College? You
Jane
too?
did.
I did.
Okay. Okay.
I was there for 2 years before
Okay.
I left and went off on my spree and got married.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, what did you study when you were there?
Elementary education.
Okay. Okay.
And that's what I did after I went back to work. My kids were grown, and I went back to work as a para at Stewart School for almost 30 years
Oh wow.
in special education.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, special ed people are just cool. There's a lot of good special ed people here in Yankton.
Yes, a lot of
A
people,
lot.
a lot of
Yep.
good special ed going on in Yankton.
Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing for the town this size. There's ABS, and that's a great program.
Yeah,
Yes.
Great
Yep,
company.
a lot of my
Yep.
kids are over
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yep.
See them succeeding, doing that. And what did you end up doing?
I went
And
to university for a couple months, and decided maybe college was not the right track for me.
Yeah.
And Brooke was going to school in Aberdeen, so I went to a little business college up there. It was like an extended high school thing. Studied accounting because my mother's wish was always that I would take over the bookkeeping at the family business, which is what she did, and she wanted, and so that was always the plan.
Uh-huh.
So I studied accounting, and then came back to Yankton after we graduated. Brooke was going to presentation college. She was there 2 years. So I was up there for a year, and we came back and went to work, and that was it.
And you worked at the family business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, worked in the family business until '78, and then I opened a men's clothing store in the Yankton Mall,
Oh wow.
and lost my behind in 3 years,
Uh-huh.
and the economy changed a little bit over that 3 year period. As we struggle in this economy, and interest rates are, they talk about mortgage interest rates going up and everything, and I remember that when I went to the bank to talk about doing this business venture, interest rates were 8% for business loans, and they went to 22% while I was in business.
Wow.
So, for those of us old folks, we all remember that era, and it wasn't any fun.
No.
Wasn't any fun.
No. And I had my own business and had it for, I think, 6 years. That's tough.
Yeah.
That people have no idea how tough it is to run your own business.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to you that you gave it a whirl.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, it was fun. I
and you
enjoyed
learn
it.
a lot.
Oh yeah.
You learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. So, what was your first job?
When you mentioned that, I had to stop and think. I had some really strange jobs, but I think my first job was working for Hanny's. Hanny's was a men's clothing store downtown,
Okay.
and Ned, who was in my class, Ned Hanneberger, it was his father, had the store, and when we were taking confirmation, 8th grade. And I asked his dad, I said, can I come work at the store? And he said, yeah. And I think that was my first job. Made a I think 15 cents an hour, something like that. It was tremendous. And golly, I worked at Handy's off and on all through high school and into college, my first year of college.
Wow.
When I was at the U,
Yeah.
that was when I got tired of going to school. I just gave up Thanksgiving, said I'll just go work at Handy's till Christmas and then figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. It was a good job. What'd you do? What was your first job?
Besides babysitting.
Besides babysitting, I did quite a bit of that. In our neighborhood was Emma French and Angie and Jill Nash and few other people from the church too. But I did do some babysitting. Mostly, I just played.
Ah.
I was I was a busy person. I did do some sitting for people when I was at Yankton College. I worked in the preschool for a while at the preschool, and then after I got married and had kids, and which was quickly, in Yankton, I had a group of kids that came over after school every day from Stewart School. A lot of my friends' kids that were working, nurses and stuff, and I babysat after school for people's kids.
So that's what you did.
Yeah, making popcorn, playing games, that's kind of my deal.
Uh-huh. So when you guys were in high school and stuff, did you participate in any activities?
You were in band.
I was in the band my entire life. I'm a percussionist,
Oh.
and I was also in the orchestra and played in the orchestra for our past member, J. Leighton Weed. I played timpani for him.
Really?
And I was also in the chorus and went twice to All-State Chorus, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
And when I went to Yankton College, I was also in the orchestra with Lucy Weed, and a lot of people will remember Leighton and Lucy Weed.
Uh-huh.
And he was the director of the orchestra, and Lucy was taught string instruments. And I was also in the chorus at Yankton College.
Wow. Percussion, that's fun.
Great. It was great.
What was your favorite drum to play?
Oh, my timpani.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
my timpani.
They do make a lovely sound.
Mhm.
Yep. We should get the band back together again.
Sounds good.
That'd be a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a treat.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I don't think I did anything in high school. I don't remember.
We
Sure.
drove around a lot.
Yeah, we did.
We
We
did.
had,
We
my
were-
mom, yeah, my mom had a 49 Jeepster convertible.
Oh, wow.
And boy, did we have fun with that car. We just drove it right into the ground at the end, I think, finally.
It was,
It was lots of fun.
yeah, high school was great. We were busy.
Yeah.
But we were busy not doing the right things.
But we always had a good time in the end.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
Good.
fun. Those were wonderful years
The
and
two of
wonderful
us
memories.
are pretty outgoing people. We
Yes.
like to be busy and have a good time.
Agreed. And you still have a pretty classic car, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm lucky enough to have Mom's convertible, so
Yeah.
that was Which
I've had one ride in that car
yeah,
with your daughter.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Emily likes that car.
Yeah.
All the kids do. All
Yeah.
the kids do. They all
Yeah.
enjoy it, and they all get to use it anytime they ever want. All you do is
Now
raise
you
their
have
hand.
how many kids, Ross?
We have 3.
Okay.
Emily,
And-
of course, here, and then we have 2 kids in Denver.
Okay. So that's the Denver connection.
The Denver connection.
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
They stayed.
Yeah. And you have how many,
I
Jane?
have 3 also. My oldest
Okay.
daughter, Catherine, is a professor in Chicago. Lives in Chicago, near Lakeshore, with her
Oh, wow.
husband, Eric.
Okay.
And my middle child is Jim
Yep.
Brown. He's been in and out of the church, and he's back in Yankton now and towards Sioux Falls. He's got grandchildren in Sioux Falls, so he thinks that's where he's going to hang his hat.
I
now
can't
for a
believe he's
while.
got grandchildren.
He has
That's-
2 grandbabies.
Yeah.
One is a little Upsahl baby,
Uh-huh.
related to our Upsahls, and the other one is his daughter's baby, Jasmine, and that's Jasmine Alex Upsahl. And then there's Noah and Jordan Brown, and they have Jonesy is his name, Jones
All right.
Brown.
All right.
Yeah.
Jones Brown. It sounds like he should be in a band.
Then you
Yeah.
You
do.
know?
Yeah.
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 We'll
And
see.
I also have another granddaughter in Sioux Falls. Her name is Chloe. She's the youngest of Jim's kids, and she works at Cherry Rock Farms. She's an earth mother,
All right.
organic girl,
All right. Yay.
raising pumpkins.
So, how did you meet your wife, Miss Brooke?
Yeah, I don't remember how we met. When she went to parochial school.
Oh my.
That was the
Sacred
proper
Heart.
term, parochial.
Mm-hmm.
And when those kids came over in after 8th grade, 9th grade to the middle school, I had become friends with one of her classmates who became my closest friend. So I knew most of the kids coming over from the Catholic school at that time when they came over at ninth grade, and we just assimilated that group into our group of kids that I was running around with, and she was just part of that crowd. That's how we met, I guess.
Did you go to prom together?
I'm sure we did. Well, we started dating in ninth grade, so then there were times where we weren't dating.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I know we probably went to one. Our senior year we would have, but
Yeah.
junior year might not have been. I
Okay.
remember there was a.
I know you went your senior year. I
Yeah.
remember the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you? I don't even remember the pictures.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Remember the parties.
Yes, you remember the parties.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, so wasn't any special deal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, what do you remember about your grandparents?
My paternal grandparents, the Vanderhules, had already passed away when my dad and mom got married, and
Wow.
or
No,
were they
no,
were
no,
they were
no.
still living then,
They were still.
but they were passed away by the time us kids were born.
Right, by the time we
Right, yeah,
were born,
yeah.
yes, they were both gone.
So we don't really remember them. Just what our parents have told us about them.
So, did they start the business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your
Grandpa
grandparents.
Vanderhule, yeah,
Okay.
and started the business, the trucking business. And then our maternal grandmother, we never knew our maternal grandfather. Our maternal grandmother lived with her sister and her brother, the three of them, on Lynn Street. And she and the brother did all the driving, and the two sisters didn't drive.
Never learned how.
The two sisters worked at Gurney Seed and Nursery.
Okay.
Grandma ran the kitchen, and Renee worked in the seed department. So we spent a lot of time down at Gurney Seed and Nursery when we were little. I remember almost every Saturday we'd go down
Yeah.
there for coffee when Grandma was working.
And homemade cinnamon rolls that she made down there too on Saturdays.
She did, and then she
Wow.
carried that tradition home with her after they quit working at Gurney's. But yeah, she was a big influence. She babysat for us a lot when we were little.
Weeks at a time. Mom and Dad would travel vacation, and Grandma would just take over.
Not weeks, couple days.
Couple weeks
A
at
weekend.
a time. Oh yeah.
Mom and Dad were very active in Masons and
Okay.
Eastern Star. So,
Okay.
And they went to a lot of state functions.
Mm-hmm.
So Grandma spent a lot of time with us, and we had a game that everybody in the neighborhood knew our grandmother because
Okay.
we were on the corner. So it's just the way it was. And we had a game called Hit the Dirt, Grandma's coming. She would come out the back door about, 8 o'clock in the summertime and go, Skip, Jane, Ross, it's time to come home, and we'd all go hit the dirt,
And
Grandma's
hide.
coming. And hide.
The whole neighborhood. All the neighborhood kids
All
are
the
hiding. Yeah.
It was just a ball. Just a great memory.
Did she come looking for you?
She didn't wander too far down the street,
Okay.
and but she'd be out there hollering for us. and
Okay.
we just had everybody in the neighborhood
Yeah.
would say, "Hit the dirt, Granny's coming."
And everybody loved her.
Yeah.
Her and does anybody still bake the cinnamon rolls?
Nobody could ever replicate
Nobody
the
could
recipe.
do
that.
Nobody could do it.
Wow.
It's sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad
It
but
is
true.
sad.
Yeah.
Do you know how your grandparents got to Yankton?
I don't.
Okay.
Shoot, they grew.
They
I don't
grew up
know.
out by Irene, the
No,
Vanderhills.
the Vanderhills did. They started on a farm out by Turkey Valley is where I think was where the farm was, and then I can't remember what era. I think it was in the 20s or 30s that Grandpa moved into Yankton
Oh.
and got into the trucking business, and because 36, I was 36 or 37. He built a warehouse down at 100 Douglas.
100
Okay.
Douglas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where the candy store is now.
Yes,
That
where I
built-
work
Oh, I didn't know
at,
you worked
at
there.
Profile. Yeah.
Oh,
you
you,
work
you
Yeah.
work at Profile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And across the street, there's those like a warehouse
Yep.
with garage doors.
Yep.
That was the Blue Bunny warehouse.
Oh, really?
But
But-
before that,
That was the garage for the
the
trucks.
garage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that just sold again, and we're wondering what's going to happen. They're doing a lot of work right there
Yeah.
right now.
Are they?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So.
Yeah. So that part of the city was home for us. We used to spend a lot of time
Yeah.
down there. A lot
lots of time.
Yeah.
Nothing was developed down by the river. No, there's no sidewalk. There wasn't anything. Just walked down the hill and the cliff went in the river, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it was very,
Yeah. Yep.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. That was we played a lot when I was young. Also, I'm around your guys' age. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rode our bikes all over
Yep.
town, from east to west, north to south. I mean, we were always on our bicycles constantly, and just
If our
busy.
parents
We
only
were
knew
busy
how
kids.
far we rode away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life growing up in the 50s in a small community, I don't care where you were in the U.S., it was pretty idyllic.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yep.
Life was pretty simple.
Yep. It was. So, something surprising that people don't know about you.
You should have told this one or asked about this. We could think of something.
Something else.
Something surprising.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a thing, Dusty. I couldn't.
Well, something surprising that happened to our whole family was my dad put a steam bath in the basement for all his buddies and the city commissioners, and after the meetings downtown, and they'd come back and they'd have a few beers or whatever, and they'd all get into Milfy's steam bath. A sauna
Okay.
with the pipes that went
Uh-huh.
outside and everything. And what exactly happened to the sauna?
The first time Dad fired it up, it caught on fire.
In the basement.
It was in the basement.
On
And,
Mulberry Street.
Mulberry
To
Street.
think that it happened on Mulberry Street.
Yeah, 1961,
Uh-huh.
because it was the centennial year. He was the mayor, had this sauna put in the basement. He lit it up and it caught on fire, burned up part of the basement, and smoke damage throughout
The
the house.
entire house.
We moved. It was in the springtime. We had to move into what was then the Charles Gurney Hotel, which is now whatever
It's
the Charles Contact.
yeah. It's a home for
Yeah. Down
people.
on the end of 3rd Street.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
And,
Got it.
Yeah, so we lived there for 3 months, I think, while they redid the house, and
Oh my goodness.
it was wild.
It was just crazy. Our friends were. I was at the middle school, and I'd get up and walk over to middle school, and then we'd go downtown and eat in some restaurant, or go down in the basement of the Charles Gurney Hotel. Was it?
Yeah.
Charles Gurney had a restaurant
There's
down
a
there
restaurant
with a
there.
restaurant bar.
Yeah.
And that's where we ate.
Yeah, we ate all our meals at
Yeah.
in the
We
restaurant.
were
Oh
there
my
for
goodness.
almost 3 months.
I think it was 3 months.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
months in this old hotel. And the boys were right next door in an adjoining room to Mother and Dad, and I was down around the corner all by myself. I can just remember walking down that. I was scared to death.
I bet.
Yeah. But great stories to tell about our
Yeah,
house
I
and
remember-
fire and it was
I remember Skip having to build his science fair project in the room
uh-huh.
back then. Every year you had a project for your science
Uh-huh.
class. I remember he had to build his in our hotel room.
Oh my God.
And when I came home, I was on my bike or whatever. I don't know where I was coming from, and the fire trucks were there. They had the window of my bedroom open. I was on the 2nd floor, right over the driveway, throwing out all my stuffed animals out onto the driveway, and some of them were just smoke rolling out of them. And
Oh.
everything was just.
How old were you when this happened?
I was seventh
Oh,
grade,
my
I think.
goodness.
8th grade, something like that. Probably seventh. Yeah, it was really something.
Wow.
It was quite the fire. Took
Wow.
a long time to, get the house back where we could live in it.
Yeah,
and-
I
so we
bet.
can move back in.
Mhm.
Oh, I could hear your mother.
Yeah,
She
there
was,
wasn't like an Intech, or water restoration companies back in those days.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how
Yeah.
we got it, how they
Yeah.
got it cleaned. I couldn't tell you who did it.
Some things were never the same. Like you'd open a closet door and it would just the smell was
You could
still,
smell the
smoke
smoke.
was still
I'm
there.
I mean,
Sure.
permeated
For
through the
years.
woodwork.
yes.
And
For
for
years.
years later, you could still smell it.
And when we were in high school, my parents bought some land out on Chalkstone Hill going down that curvy road
Uh-huh.
there. And I don't remember who the farmer was that had the original place with the big root cellar into the side of the hill. And
Well, it belonged to the convent originally.
oh, okay. I was thinking a family had lived there. But they had a big windmill and everything out there, and they took the barn and remodeled it into a home
Oh, wow.
when I was in high school, and it was lovely, beautiful view, out over the river.
Yeah.
So they got to move out of the out of the house on Mulberry Street and move out there. It was very, very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
it was, super place to grow up.
I bet.
Yep.
I bet. Did you have animals out there at all? Horses or?
Yeah, we had two, there were two wild dogs that came during the construction period.
Right.
Two little, pretty much German Shepherd,
Mhm.
called them Barney and Bernie because of the barn.
Yeah.
And,
And because of
In
the
the
fire.
burn.
yeah, and, because of the fire, that's a good one. They, unfortunately got into the chickens next door
Uh-oh.
over at the convent barn, and so
I don't even remember
we
that.
lost those two
Yeah,
dogs.
I bet we did. Mhm.
Yeah, we had a big German Shepherd.
Mickey.
Mickey was her name, and she was Mom's best pal and the milkman's best pal, and yeah, she was a great dog. So
Yeah, that was a great home.
Wow.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So, besides, do you have anything else that changed you? Do you want to bring up something that changed you positive? Something
I
recent?
don't know. I'd kind of like to tie into the church too,
Yeah.
because I was a big Placerville person. From the minute I was old enough to go, I was at Placerville every summer. Tried to get as many of my friends to go as could go,
Yeah.
and that's been a big part of my faith life, is being at Placerville and understanding the church and our faith and everything. And since then, all my kids have gone to Placerville, all their friends they take with them. I've done some help with some counseling out there for youth camp and that sort of thing. Gone to women's camp, which I really love to go to. Well, you have to experience
Yeah,
it.
I would really like to
Yeah,
do that.
it's just once you go, you want to go back and back. So we had old days of riding out there in those old yellow school buses, and they'd break down, and we'd have to walk up the hill, and they'd try to get the bus up the hill and into the camp, and lots of good memories of Placerville. And girls that I met, and guys all over the state from different schools.
I bet.
Yeah, you run into them. Rich Hinckley and I, we were, he said that we were kind of boyfriend and girlfriend at Placerville, and I didn't even remember that. But that's just, just fun stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that probably impacted my life more than anything else is having kids. You say, well, we're going to have children. Boy, that'll change your life in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah, it does.
And they didn't come with any manual.
No.
No.
And, they're, as they grew, we grew, and boy, it changes your life tremendously. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got
Wouldn't
some
trade
great
it.
kids here.
We do.
Mhm.
We do.
Yep, you do.
They're wonderful.
I only
children.
know a couple of them, but they're great kids.
Yeah, yeah. But boy, they put you through the paces.
Yeah. Yeah. Our kids do that.
I guess maybe I did that for my folks too.
I
A
have
little-
a
a little
feeling.
bit.
I have a feeling.
A little
yes.
bit,
Not me. See
not
this
terrible.
halo?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
It's just glowing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could give your younger self advice, or just in general, what would you say?
First thing I would tell myself is don't you ever light up a cigarette in your life. That's the one thing in my life that I wish I could go back and change,
Yeah,
is that I never smoked.
yeah,
Which is, I don't know, wasn't great.
yeah.
I'm just tickled I'm still here.
I bet. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yep. I finally got smart about 6 years ago, but tickled,
I can't imagine you smoking.
yeah.
It's really such an ugly habit, isn't
Oh, it's
it?
terrible.
You look at people smoking and you think, why did we ever do that?
Why did we do it? But my parent, you look at anything back in the 70s
Oh, yeah.
and before,
Ashtrays in every
Yep.
room.
people
and-
Yep.
smoked
We smoked at
constantly.
work.
The doctor
Yeah.
smoked in their office.
Uh-huh.
You go to see the doc and you light up a cigarette. I mean, it was a way of life. And
Yeah.
I guess it was just an acceptance that that's what you did. But it's so great now it's rare when you see somebody smoking, and I just love it. It's just, you just don't see it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and I know that if I succumb to the urge, I'd get right back into the
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be my advice to me. What about you?
Advice.
Yeah.
My advice probably is don't jump the gun on things. Find out what's going on. Find out who they are. Find out where they are, and just give everybody a fair chance.
Great.
I believe in that. Give everybody a fair chance. And I like people. I'm a real people person. So that's just kind of my
Love it.
mantra, I guess.
Love it. So, since you're front and center, anything that you'd like to say to the congregation?
No, thanks.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you to all the people that I've met through the church and have become my friends, and all the things I've been exposed to because of the church. I learned how to sail.
Oh, my.
Yeah, with our minister before, and just some wonderful, wonderful people I've met through the church, and good friends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good place to be. I feel
Agreed.
very centered when I'm sitting up there in the choir loft. I just feel very centered. I feel like I'm always at home at the church.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the church is concerned, there is a very homey feeling when you grow up in that church.
I bet.
There's a comfort
Mm-hmm.
when you go there.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's wonderful. Well, thanks for letting me get to know you both a little bit better. It's been fun. I
Yeah.
don't know, is there any stories you want to tell about each other before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. Not that we should share.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
No blackmail stories, huh?
No,
All right.
pretty
Well,
good about
thanks a
that.
lot, and we'll see you at church.
All right. Thanks, Dusty.
Thanks, Dusty.